Hi, this is Brenda with Foxy's Jewelry Creations, and this is my doggy, Foxy, and this is who the channel is named after. There we go. So I made me a little sign, and that's her picture. So what I'm going to do today, I'm waiting on some more to come in, but I've been wanting to make a junk journal, and I'm a beginning crafter, so I have very limited supplies. So I may rename the video because you can do this for $10 or less. You can make a complete junk journal for $10 or less. So that's what we're going to go over today. We're just going to go over the supplies and how I put everything together and what we're doing. But I know I'm going to wait for a few more to come in, and I need to get my chat to come up. I do see that I have one watching. That's good. And I hope you're having a good day. Trying to get everything out of screenshot that doesn't need to be here. And this is just the first video of several videos, of 3 today. I don't like to do them all grouped together in one long video because to me, I don't like to have to scroll through a video to get to the part I want to watch. So I'm going to split them up. So the first one is the journal, what we're going to use to make a journal. And I'm going to make it completely online live. So today we're just going to go over materials and that kind of thing. That way, if you want to make it with me, you have time to gather materials, get everything together, and then we can craft together. And I'll probably go back over this when more come in. The second video, I do have a friendship page to do in my Feathered Friends Flock Journal, or Flocking Feathered Friends Journal from the Flock group on Facebook. I finally got my last inbox in from the end of June. And so I need to get her page done. And the third video is an update for the Dances with Pitbull's 100 Things Challenge. And I've got about 20 things I've been doing, but I haven't made a video. I've been having headaches. So with my migraines and everything, I just haven't wanted to sit in here in the lights and craft. So I'm going to give it another minute or so, and if no one else comes in, I'm going to just proceed and go over everything because it will come in, people can watch the replay and get the information that way. And I'm going to check. I may need to eliminate some shadows. Oh. That definitely brightened up this down here, so that's good. So I'm going to pretty much stop this video when it's over and start a new live stream and go right into the next video because I'm all set up for all of them, I do believe. I just may have to shuffle some stuff around on my desk. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So what I did was this is the first little journal that I made, and it's out of a toilet paper roll tube, but I didn't make it the normal way where you just cut one side. This one actually has a binding in it that you can't really see, and it's let me turn, we got a glare coming up. It is part of another toilet paper tube, and so I cut my tube totally in half and took another little piece for my binding to sew into and put it here and glued it in. You can kind of see I glued it into the front and back covers. And then I've made my 2 signatures. I should have made a third one. I did the beaded spine like Dances with Pitbull does. This one will not have this beaded spine. I'm going to do a hidden spine based on the same kind of thing. So this is where my spine idea came from. So I'm just going to set that aside. So for this one, I've taken a paper towel tube. My journal is going to be 9 inches tall. So I got a paper towel tube. I cut it to 9 inches, and I'll show you that in a moment. And then I cut it to 1 inch wide for the spine because that's what I figured my spine was going to be. Well, I cut it to about an inch and a half because I needed pieces that would fold up. So let me get out the cut one. So here is one that is cut to size. It is a paper towel tube. Let me move this one out of the way. Okay, I cut it about 3 inches. I left this part in the middle. It's going to have 4 signatures, so there'll be 2 on each side here of the middle line. These are going to attach to the cover, the cardboard parts, which I took a Fruit Loops. This actually came out of the calendar. So this will attach like this. I may need to cut that shorter. This side will attach like this. Okay. And these will be my covers. And it may even come forward some. So that's going to be how this all goes together for the covers in this part. Those are simple. This was a cardboard out of the calendar insert only because I messed up the other part of the Fruit Loops box when I was cutting. I cut wrong. And so I made a second piece. And then we have our paper towel roll. All of this is discard material. Normally you would throw away. My cover is going to be made out of blue jean material. And it's extra big because I want it to make sure I had enough to cover my covers. I want some to fold over on each end and from this away. So it's a pretty good size piece. Well, no, I can't do it that way. But it's a pretty good size piece. And this I wanted to make, that may be why. Yes. This is going to go down the spine. So there's going to be some leftover over here that I can do other things with. Because this is going to cover the center of the spine. Oh, my bag is moving. So I'm going to gesso my blue jean material. Now this, my husband works in construction. Well, he does roofing. He's very rough on his blue jeans. They all have holes in them. Hi, Carla. How are you? So they all have holes in them. So I accidentally acquired a pair of his Holy jeans. And that's going to be our book cover for mine. You can do a journal cover out of painting paper. You can do it out of brown paper sack. I've done that. Out of packing, brown paper packing material. You could do it out of a cloth placemat from Dollar Tree. You could even make one out of this kind of a placemat. It's not very flexible, but you could do that. You could cut it in half and have it be your cardboard parts because it's flexible enough for that, but sturdy enough not to tear. So that's going to be the outside of our journal. Now, for the inside, I printed tags and stuff off the internet. I don't own any tags. I have no tags. I'm putting this stuff back in the bag for my cover and stuff. I have everything all sorted out. So for my tags, I just went online, did a search for free printable tags, and downloaded some tags and printed them. So you can definitely do that. Print your tags. Because as a beginning crafter, I don't have any tags. So I printed out tags, glued them to cardstock cereal boxes because I've been saving cereal boxes for a long time. I glued them to some cereal boxes, which stiffened them up, made them very sturdy so that I can use them. Most of the tags that I'm using are going to be in pockets. If you do see the backs of them, I mixed up some paint that looks kind of like a coffee color. I like coffee color. It's white, brown, some coffee in there, and a little bit of black. Just so I could color them because my printer, if I coffee dye them, I have an inkjet printer. They're going to run, and I'm going to lose all my ink. So I chose to do mine that way. For the pages in your book, you can do this very cheaply. I'm using 9x12 envelopes. Let me get one out. This is a 9x12 envelope. It's going to be folded this way. This is my book size. These are the covers of my signatures. I'm debating whether to leave this open for a pocket and putting one on this side as well. I think that would be kind of cool. I do need more cardboard pieces, though, to be for the inserts. But that's something I can definitely do. So those are the cover. I'm going to have 4 of those. You can get a pack of 5 9x12 envelopes just like that one, except it won't have the, oh Lord, what is that called? It won't have the little pin. The ones I saw at Dollar Tree have the peel off thing. You get 5 of them for $1. You could make 5 signatures. You could even use one for your cover if you wanted. So that's an option, but you get 5 of those for $1. So that's $1. You can get a 9x12 sketch pad, medium weight, 40 sheets for $1 at the Dollar Tree. So we're up to $2. I coffee dyed my sketch pad. We had a sketch pad that we just had forever, but I did go price one because I ran out of paper and that one had to get a new one. I just took the paper out of it and I coffee dyed it, and it can be done. The paper is kind of thin. I just was very careful when I lifted it out of the coffee and laid it on the cookie sheets for baking. It didn't take but 20 minutes to bake it at 200 degrees. And they came out very nice. Let me show you one of the coffee dye pages of the sketch pad. So here's a coffee dyed paper. Oh, that's not gonna, we need it lighter than that. There's a big shadow. Now I got to find the switch. There we go. I coffee dyed this paper. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I did coffee dye it. That's okay, Carla. Hi, Sue. So this is just that sketch pad paper. It was able to be coffee dyed, and then, of course, I ironed all my paper. So out of a 40-page sketch pad, if you were doing 4 inserts, that's 20 pages an insert when you fold them in half. So if that's all you used, you could do that. Then also, my husband had a ledger pad. Well, he doesn't have as much ledger pad as he used to because I hijacked it too. I hijack all his stuff. But I coffee dyed these, and I like how they came out kind of marbly. So I coffee dyed several of these. I think I made 5. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets per signature of this. So that's another 8 sheets. Hi, Carrie Ann, that you would have by the time you fold them over. And with these being 8.5 by 11, they're going to work perfect in that 9x12 envelope without me having to trim anything. Now, the 9x12 paper, the sketch pad, I did have to trim a little bit. But I only had to trim like about an inch off the ends of it when it was folded in half. Another thing I used, this is a business size, used to be white envelope. I coffee dyed them. There's no more sticky up here. So I coffee dyed these. This one's already folded to go in a page as an insert. I'm thinking I'm going to seal it and slice open the side over here for a pocket, and then it'll also have this little pocket. I could, well, no, I'll just do that. I was thinking I could just leave it, and then I would have a tuck spot, a pocket, and a pocket, which is possible to do all that. I would just glue this part down and then have a tuck, a pocket, and then slice the side open and have an insert pocket. So I've made, let's see, 2 of these folded different. So this one is folded like this. Then I have one folded like this. Actually, it's 3. 2 are folded this way. Whoops. I've already tucked this part in, and that way it can go and make 2 pages, and I'm going to cut it. Well, I won't even have to cut it because this would be pockets on each side. So these are going in the signatures. The 2 of these will make 4 pockets. I then also took book pages. Okay, now the envelopes. Let me go back. The envelopes I also found at Dollar Tree in a 40 count box for $1. I'm using 3 per. Hi, Jane. I am so glad you could make it. I'm using 3 of these envelopes per signature. You get 40 in a box. I'm only going to use 12. So that's, 12 plus I'm making a waterfall out of 3. So I'm using 15 envelopes. out of that box. So we've got $1 in our 9x12 envelopes, $1 in our sketch pad, $1 in those business count envelopes. So far we've got $3. If you buy a ledger pad, Dollar Tree, I didn't see that they had them. Walmart has them for, I would say, $3 or less. So now we're up to $6. The blue jeans were free. Images from the internet are free. And the blue jeans are going to be my cereal box. I don't count it as having a cost. Hi, Emma. So my cereal box, I don't count as having a cost because it was free with the cereal. And then book paper. I don't count that as having a cost either unless you have to go to the thrift store and buy a book, which you can get a book cheap. I cut these pages out with a craft knife so they wouldn't be torn. Some people like the torn, but I know I'm going to have to fold them in half. So these I coffee dyed as well. And they coffee dyed very well. And I have 2 book pages in each insert. My husband had these little sales receipts, which I hijacked his little sales receipt book. There were 3. These are the ones that are carboned. And I coffee dyed them. And as thin as they are, they coffee dyed really well. I have 2 of those per signature. 2 pieces of map paper. Now, I don't know how much a map cost. My friend gave me my maps, so they were free. But I coffee dyed some map papers. They're this size, so they're going to get folded in half like this, and I can put different stuff on my map. So there's 2 of those per insert, and each insert also has 4 coffee dyed filters. Never used. I coffee dyed them with coffee. And what I found interesting, hi Joey, how are you today? Was when I coffee dyed some of my paper, the edges came out dark. So I didn't have to worry about antiquing my edges because they came out. See, this side, I don't know what happened. It didn't do that. But the rest of them did. Or some of them. So I thought that was interesting. Saves me from having to work the edges, so to speak. So my tags that I got the images from the internet, put them on the back of either cardstock or... now for cardstock, you can get a 9x12 sketch pad, not sketch pad, mixed media pad at Walmart for $6. And I don't have mine handy to tell you how many pages are in there. It's 90 weight or 98 pound. It coffee dyed very well. But then you can back your tags that you print off the internet on that. Hi, Mary. Thank you for coming. I'm just going over the things I'm going to use in my junk journal. And if y'all want me to start back from the beginning, I can do that because there was no one here when I started. So would you want me to start back at the beginning? I'm just waiting to see whether you all want me to start over or not. Okay, yeah, Carla was here from the very beginning. Sorry about that, Carla. Not that I forgot. But the rest of you that came in after. Okay, I'll just continue. And then you can always watch the replay. So I also went through some magazines that I have that I've been saving. This is not the background image. The Fendi. If you can find Fendi and a Fendi advertisement, this is great background here. And there were 2, it was a double page spread or 2 different magazines, I'm thinking, that I hijacked this out of. And I've been saving the paper. I don't subscribe to the magazine anymore, but I was going through and saving papers. So that one goes right along with the colors that I'm using in this journal. So we went over the tags. I also went online and found images because I don't have a paper pad, nor am I willing to pay $12.99, $20, something like that for a paper pad. So I was like, well, I can coffee dye paper. Hi Tracy, welcome. I can coffee dye paper. I can go online and find royalty-free images, which is what I always do, that I like. that fit me. And that way I'm not buying a paper pad where some of it's what I want and some of it's not. I could download these images and I can glue them to my coffee dyed paper. And because they are inkjet, I will be using a glue stick because I don't want them to get wet. If they get wet, the ink will run. But I've already practiced using the glue stick with the papers, and it does work because I did my tags, and they stick very well. I'm using Scotch glue sticks, which I got 24 of those for $6 at Sam's Club. So for less than $10 or less, we can make this journal. And it's going to be a really pretty, I think it's going to be a lovely journal, a very pretty functional journal. And it's going to have some pockets in it. It's going to have tags and ephemera that I'm working on making, which I've stopped making stuff so I can do that with y'all on live streams. But I did get my coffee dyeing done. I coffee dyed paper, y'all, for 2 days. I had a lot of fun, and I didn't do it the normal. Well, I don't know what normal is. I watched a couple of videos and I'm like, no, that's just outrageously long process. Okay, Tracy, that's fine. So, oh, cool, Mary. I'm looking at chat. Hi, Christine. And when I did mine, when we make a pot of coffee, it's a little 5-cup pot. We use 3 scoops of coffee. It makes one of my cups of coffee. I don't know if y'all can see this. It's a huge cup. Well, yeah, y'all can't really see because if I lay it down, I'm going to spill it. But it takes the whole pot except for maybe this much. So I started with that. Then I did not dump those grounds out. I added 5 more scoops of coffee, 5 more cups of water, according to the coffee pot, which we all know their cups are like not a cup. Brewed it, dumped it in my pan, which I used a 13 by 9 inch pan because I was dyeing 12 by 9 paper or 9 by 12 paper. Put it in there, added a little vinegar because somebody said you had to add vinegar. I guess it cuts down on the acid in the coffee. And then, because I still had room in my coffee filter, I added 3 more scoops of coffee and another 5 cups of water and brewed it again and dumped that in. I immediately started dyeing paper. My paper did not sit in my coffee bath more than, at that point, I turned the oven on. And when I turned the oven on, I set it for 200. My paper only sat in the coffee long enough for my oven to get to preheat. Now, I did find that on my older cookie sheets that had turned that dark, lovely, antique-y looking color, we'll say, the first time I baked on those, I ended up with black spots on my paper. Let's see. I tried to cover them over with paint. So this is one. These are the black spots that I ended up, let's see, they're more visible. That I ended up with. This one was baked straight on the cookie sheet. After this, I've covered my cookie sheet with foil, and that eliminated this black spots. Now I have 2 pizza pans that are the shiny silver. I was able to bake on those without adding any tin foil, and no problem. But the older ones that are the blackened color from years and years of use, this happened on both. So now I know if I'm going to make paper on those, I just add foil to those. So I made, I don't know how many sheets of paper. Then last night I sat and I ironed all my pages and got them all ironed out, separated them all into the signature piles. I haven't determined the order of my signatures yet. I just know what's included in my signatures. As far as that goes, I know what images I've printed out, which I have printed. This is a gallon-sized Ziploc bag. Hang on, what's down there that's thick? Oh, paper pads from Brenda that she gave me, and I'm going to use some of those. These are my papers that I've printed out from the internet. I may not use them all, but it gives me enough. I know what cover images I'm going to put on the covers of my, these were in my Happy Mail from Brenda. But I already know what my cover images are going to be for each signature. You coffee dye yours with a sprayer, Mary? So that could work, except mine, unless you, see, I didn't want to hold mine up long enough for all the coffee to run off. And I think that's why I got some marbly looking papers. Excuse me. So just make sure you have something under it to catch any coffee that drips. But that could definitely work. Yes, Joey, Ziplocs you can see through. That helps. Okay, Mary, that'll be fine. And so I've been printing out my papers for a little bit of time because I've had this idea of what I wanted to do. Most of them are vintage girls. I belong to Shell Bell's website. Shell Bell puts up free images that we can use. So I've downloaded some of her images and some of her backgrounds that she posted for free. I also belong on Facebook to Michelle Scott's group, and Michelle also puts up images that are free to use. So I've downloaded some of hers. That's some of the things that I printed, and then I have found my own as well. Just by going on Pinterest. Mostly I do Google though, and if it comes up with Pinterest, I'll go over, but mostly I do Google and I search for free printable vintage images, and that will pull up all kind of stuff. I have music paper that I printed out because I have nothing with music paper. So I've printed out some music paper. I printed out some handwriting paper. I printed out before I coffee dyed paper, I printed out a coffee dyed background. Now that's laughable because now I don't need that, but I printed like 4 copies. It'll come in handy I can back tags or something with that. It'll come in handy for something. I don't know what yet. Yeah, the free printables are great, y'all, because like I said, with a paper pad, and I'm not knocking any of the paper pad companies. I just right now, being that I'm taking care of my mom, we're getting ready to go to Maryland for my mother-in-law and father-in-law's 50th anniversary party. I don't have the $20 to go spend on a paper pad or $12.99, or even if you use the 40% off, I just don't have it. And I was like, why would I do that when I could come up with, I love my painty papers, so I might use some of my painty papers as backgrounds. I know what colors I want it to be is the light pastel kind of pinks and purples and blues with maybe a little yellow thrown in. And so that's the kind of paper I was looking for. Let me show you. Let me get my little file folder back out here. Let's see. Because they're on. Now, another thing I did was, this is part of a napkin I had left over from making Mary's tags. I glued it to a book page. I'm going to use that on fronts of pockets and things. This is a napkin that had, I'm going to cut this light off and hopefully, well, we're going to kind of be in the dark. I don't have another light on my left that I can turn on. But this is a napkin I got in a Happy Mail. It's the right colors. I put it, this is a piece of the cardstock my husband bought me, but you can still use that mixed media pad and glue this on there. Or just heavier paper. Because I'm going to glue it down, it doesn't really have to be on cardstock. But I put the napkin down. These were the edges I cut off and saved because they can be used for something. Hi, Shelly. I was thinking, well, the only reason I didn't dye on my printed papers too is I use inkjet and the ink will disappear. So I wanted to do it that way, but then I was like, well, I could seal them. Well, then if I seal them, coffee dye can't get in because now they're sealed. So it was just easier for me. So I did this with the napkins. And I did several of those. Then I'm trying to find one of the backgrounds I pulled. If I can find one. I've been printing paper, y'all. Okay, here's one. Now, this was not designed for this way. Let me mark where I pulled that out of, because that way I can put it back with this little friends. It was not designed for this. If you go to print this, it wants to print it one page this way with like this much at the top, this much at the bottom, and margins. That's great, except I needed it this way so I could fold it in half. Which I'm just going to put this on one of my coffee dyed papers. And then I can fold it in half and you'll have coffee dyed back here. What I did was I rotated the image in my print software on my phone. Everything I do is from my phone. So I rotated the image, told it to fill the page. This is what I got. And this right here is where I got the idea to do the ledger paper, because there's a little snippet of ledger paper on here. So this is like a collage sheet. But you can find all kind. I've been saving printable image background stuff for a long time. But you can find all kind of this stuff on the internet that's free. Napkins, like, you know, this right here makes a good background image. So that's the kind of things that I'm using for my journal. I don't knock the paper pads. If you have them, by all means, it does make it easier. I am using paper pads that Brenda gave me. They're 6x6. I'm going to use those mainly to decorate my pockets with, make some ephemera, because they're the right color. They go right along with what I'm doing. But we can definitely, even without those, I may or may not use them, to be honest, because I think I have enough stuff without them. You can do this, like I said, you can do this journal for $10 or less. Even if you started out from scratch with nothing, you could get your envelopes, both the 9x12 manila ones and the business size long skinny white ones at Dollar Tree. You can get a sketch pad that's 40 sheets from Dollar Tree, which gives you more than enough paper. I would think 20 sheets per, well, I say that now as I'm counting. My signatures are going to be considerably fatter than that. They're going to have a little bit more, but still you could do it with only 10 sheets per. Right, we all have those too. And those backgrounds, I have a whole nother Ziploc baggie of those opened up flat with their background showing. So yes, you could definitely use those instead of using pre-bought ones. But I was saying if we started out with nothing, right, you can simply, exactly, Shelly, print out what you need, not have to store tons of paper pads. I live in a 900, I wish it was 900 square feet. I live in a 720 square foot house. I don't have room to store anything. This house has one closet, and that's all the storage we have. My husband has put shelves in the laundry room over everything. But we only have the one closet, and that's where our clothes are. And on the bottom of that closet, we have the winter clothes in boxes. We have blankets and you know, in the totes. I don't have room to store a lot of craft supplies. So I have to come up with ways I can do things where I'm going to try to show you. This is my journal bin. It does have a lid. It's a Sterilite container. My husband actually bought it to store sugar in. And he told me if I emptied the sugar bags out of it and put them in the sugar canister, I could have the container. I didn't hesitate, because it's the perfect size to hold all of my journal contents, all of my signatures, my bag for my cover materials, my bag for my insert, you know, my signatures, and then all the backgrounds and stuff that I want to use on those. And so it's like my little project bucket. I can store that. But I can't store. And I've seen other people online make journals, and sometimes they'll use 2 or 3 different paper pads to get all the different papers that they want. By the time you do that, if it's a $12.99 pad, which most pads are $20, at $13 a pad, you have spent $39 just to get the paper for your journal. We're not talking you've got a cover. We're not talking, sometimes you have cut aparts in those you can use. Right, we're talking supplies to make a junk journal. But if you go that route with the paper pads and you need 3 paper pads to make one journal, that's $39. Right now, I can't do that. And I want to make a journal. I did take 3 Reader's Digest magazines and glue them together. Well, I went through and got all the images out that I wanted. And then I went through and I tore out. I kept like 3 pages, tore out 3 pages, kept 3, tore out 3. I glued them back to back. That's going to be my glue book when it's done. But there's 3 of those glued together. There's plenty of room for it to grow and for me to glue in it and whatever I want to do. But that's not what this is going to be. Because I have magazines that I have that I could use and make a glue book out of, or that kind of a journal. But this is a different kind of a journal to me. Oh, I understand that, Joey. Them little puppies. I know how that is. We had one 3 years ago. She's grown out of that puppy. Well, no, she hasn't. Now she's hit the terrible 2s. And even if they say puppies don't go through terrible 2s, she hit 3. And yes, she has gone through. She's in her terrible 2s. We used to tell her to sit and she just sat. Now you tell her to sit, you get a bark, and then she sits. If I tell her no, she barks back. She just used to stop. If I tell her to stop, she barks back. It's the terrible 2s. That's okay, Joey. They are cute. So now she's just in the talking back to me stage. So today it was just to go over what I'm going to use to make this journal. So my cover is cereal boxes, cover, a toilet paper tube. Well, I didn't cover hang on, let me go back to that because I missed the part. And it's not a toilet paper tube. Paper towel tube cut down so my signatures can go in here. These are going to attach here like this. And I did leave room for my cover to extend a little bit. But this is cut to the size of my pages. So this is going to go on here like this. Now, to make it hidden, I have also cut a piece of cereal box that will cover this. So this will glue to the back of this. So my threads will not show. They're going to be here. But when I glue this on, you won't see them at all. And that will give some stability to my spine. This will go on here. This bottom piece will go like this. So this will be my book. And I just cut my paper towel down, my paper towel roll down the middle, laid it out flat, and figured out how much I would need. I didn't do any kind of major rocket sciencey kind of thing there. Husband's blue jean pants that he had holes in, which I accidentally lifted from him because he can't wear them. They had holes where he shouldn't have holes. That's all I'm going to say. So he can't wear them. So this is going to be the cover of the book. It is bigger than I need it to be because I wanted to make sure I had plenty to work with. Okay, Joey. So this is going to be so the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to let y'all know that I don't know if I'm going to be back on. I should be able to be back on this week. Well, this is what, Thursday? Maybe not. But we are having out-of-town company come next week. And that's why I'm trying to get all 3 of my videos done that I need to get done today. And I'm going to do them pretty much back to back. So what I plan on doing when we get back to the journal again is, because I want to do this all with you guys watching so you can ask questions. And this is my first journal. I don't know what I'm doing. I just know what I want to do, how it's going to come out. Who knows what's going to happen with this journal. I have good plans though. But sometimes plans don't work. And so that's my goal is on the next video, I'm going to gesso and paint the blue jeans. I'll probably gesso it first before we, because who wants to watch gesso dry? So I'm going to gesso the blue jeans, and then when I come back, to do the next journal video, I'm going to paint them how I want them painted. That's the other great thing. I get to determine how my cover's going to look and what colors it's going to have on it. And I don't have to go buy material to do so. This is not a craft mat. My husband bought me this placemat from Walmart. And it gives the camera something to focus on besides, you know, if my hands aren't here, there's something here for the camera to focus on. So it came from Walmart in the placemat section. But any Dollar Tree placemat would work. It just gives the camera something to focus on. And as you can see, I've painted on it. And he told me I could. So I try to keep it clean, though. Because I do like the little rooster. It just gives something for the camera. Oh, bless your heart, Sue. Well, have fun dyeing your papers. I had a lot of fun doing it, even though it was the first time I had done it. So we're going to gesso. I'm going to gesso the cover. I'll probably try to come back on Saturday and paint the cover of the book. And probably that's all we'll do because that's going to take some time with the heat gun running and everything and layers of paint. Oh, dyeing. Well, hi, Misty. How are you? And dyeing paper is fun. I did like it, and I found it to be addicting. And ironing it, y'all. I hate to iron. For whatever reason, ironing paper is fun. It's quick. It doesn't take as long as ironing the wrinkles out of clothes, but it's fun. Who knew? And ironing coffee filters. There's just something about ironing coffee filters. That's fun. I enjoyed that. The coffee filters and the paper. But the coffee filters was the most fun. It's going to have a little bit of purple in it and some pink. I like purple, pink, turquoise, and just a little bit of yellow thrown in. Not a lot. Just a little bit. And it's going to be more of the muted down tones of those. Or that's what I'm looking at. So that'll be the next journal video. We'll be getting the cover painted, gessoed, and that kind of thing. Yeah, my mom lives right next door. I mean, like, we're talking between her back porch and the wall of my house is maybe 15 feet. So she lives right next door, and I do take care of her. And I can do crafty stuff at her house if I have to, which is good. So that's it for this video. We went over the materials, how you can do it for $10 if you have no craft supplies and had to go buy the stuff off the bat from either Walmart or Dollar Tree. You can get it all for... I understand when my mom was 80, before Daddy got sick, Mom was 80 miles away. And that worked out much better. But then Daddy got sick and there was no way that she could take care of him by herself. So my husband and I moved here. This cabin, we call it the cabin. It's right behind their house. We moved here into the cabin to take care of Daddy. Well, when Daddy passed, we found out that Mother had some health issues, and it wasn't a matter of we could just move away again. So we're here. Probably for the long term. So she automatically wins by default, Sue. So that's it for this video. The next video I'm doing, if y'all want to come back, I'm going to start a new video. It's going to be my friendship flocker page for Wanda Bale. I got her envelopes in. It's envelopes because one got lost in the mail. And then, of course, it showed up after she mailed a second one. Post office is wonderful. But I'm going to do her pages in my Flock Friend journal. And then after that, I have an update for the Dances with Pitbull's 100 Things Challenge, which is why I've been challenged. I'm trying to use what I have and not go out and buy things too, because I'm on that 100 Things Challenge where you can't. I'm allowing myself, because of what I do, polymer clay, glue, and paint are must-haves. paper, well, paper crafting is a must. Like if I ran out of printer paper and I need to print backgrounds, that's a must have. I'll buy paper. But more or less, I'm trying to use what I have on hand without buying new stuff. I bought very little polymer clay. I think maybe 1 block of white. I had to get new glue. And I had to get a couple of bottles of paint that I was running out of. But other than that, I haven't spent. My husband, however, see, I don't know how to count that, y'all. Because he's an enabler. He's bad. He bought me markers from Sam's Club, which we played with in the inky coffee filters. We played with the markers. That was fun. I want to do that again live because that was just so much fun. But he bought me those. So I don't know if that means I don't get to, which I've already used them. We played with them. But he buys me things. And I'm on this $100, the 100 thing challenge. And he keeps bringing me things. And it's like, I've about told him, other than it being 100 degrees outside, stick them in the trunk of the car and I'll just have like Christmas when I'm done. You know what he told me though, Sue? He was so sweet about it because I'm like, you complain about when I spend money, but yet you bring me home things. He said, because when you're sitting at that table and you're crafting, that's when you're the happiest. And I want to make you happy. So he buys me things to make me happy with crafting. So what could I say? Okay, thanks. I mean, we've been together for almost 24 years. And I really do appreciate that he does think of me when he's out shopping. And if he sees something he thinks I might like those markers, those were great. That he does help it. Yeah, husbands can be funny though. And I have friends online. Brenda Price is, y'all, I love her. She's helped me a lot. And my friend Carol, who lives in, now I'm going to get messed up. She lives in Iowa. That's where Carol is. She has sent me some things in the mail. This crafting community, I have found is a very, very giving community. And y'all, I love that. I love y'all for being that way and welcoming me into the crafting community. Being that I'm a member of 2 other communities, I can honestly say this is completely different. It is completely, completely different than the other communities that I'm a part of. And they're not crafting communities. They're to do with what else I do. Oh, I love giving to people. That's why I like the Flocker Friendship Swap, because I sign up for friends. Well, that sounds horrible. We sign up for friends. But then I have people that I can send to. And it's stuff that I like, and then I get stuff that they like. We make pages. But it's helping me get to know people that I otherwise wouldn't get to know. And really, that group is how I found pretty much everybody in the crafting community that I have. It's through that group. That's how I found Mary. That's how I found Amber. Misty, I already knew you from back in the beading days. I've been watching you do beading for 2.5 years. And so, but that's how I found a lot of people. But when Misty changed over not that she changed totally, as we know, she still does her beading. I still enjoyed watching the paper crafting because it was something I wanted to do. So definitely, but that's how I found a lot of y'all. And it's a very giving group. Yes. And that's when I craft, when I'm sitting here talking to y'all, or even if I'm just making a video, I'm not thinking about my back hurting. I'm not thinking about what pain I might have, because I do have lower back issues. And the only thing that stopped me from making videos the last couple of days was I had a migraine and I couldn't sit in the light. That was what stopped me. Just not being able to be in light. I needed to be in the dark. I'm a mushroom. At least when I have a migraine, I'm a mushroom. So we're going to end this video because we've gone over all the materials. and everything. And I don't know if y'all can see this list. Probably not. But here's a list of the materials. It's a 9x12, 5 count of the manila envelopes. Oh, you're back at making the beaded stuff, Misty? Is that what you meant? Yes, Sue, I like being a mushroom too. So it's 9x12 of the manila envelopes. You can get this at Dollar Tree. The 9x12 sketch pad, it's called medium weight, 40 sheets. Even if you use the whole sketch pad, it's $1. A ledger pad from Walmart, I put down $2.50. You probably get one for $2.50 to $3. I don't know how many pages. Book pages from an old book are free. Envelopes, a 40 count of the business envelopes, or use the ones you get in the mail. But the 40 count box is $1. Images from the internet are free. Napkins for ephemera. I bought mine at Dollar Tree back before I started the 100 Things Challenge. But you can also, a lot of people send them in Happy Mail. The ones I used are not my Dollar Tree ones. They're the ones from Happy Mail. Because the ones I bought didn't have the colors for this particular journal. Blue jeans for the cover, free from my husband's hijack pants. And 9x12 XL mixed media pad, $6 at Walmart. I want to say it had at least 50 pages in it. So that's, for $10, that's the most expensive thing. And you don't have to have that mixed media pad. That I would say you don't have to have. I used a couple of pages to back tags with. I coffee dyed them in back tags. So that's that. But you don't have to have that at all. You could use cereal boxes to back your tags, which I have done. You could use cardboard inserts from mailers, from calendars, anything like that to back your tags with. If you're using printed tags from the internet. You like hijack. Well, that's a nicer way of saying borrowed, stolen, permanently, mine. This is, just so y'all will know, this is the sketch pad paper. So this is it when it's white. And then, where's it at? Coffee dyed. They're in here. Here's a sheet of it coffee dyed. So that's the difference that my coffee dyeing made in the paper. So, yeah, Katrine says accidentally, that she accidentally got things. I hijack them. So, that's the end of this video. On the next journal video, we're going to do the cover or paint the blue jeans and that kind of thing, and then answer any questions. That way, if y'all want to make the journal, you can get your stuff together as well, and we can do it together. Exactly. This is what I tell my husband all the time, Carla. There is very fine print on the back of that marriage certificate that's almost invisible. You really need like a scientific microscope to read it. But there's a lot of stuff in those little vows that are on the back of the marriage certificate that he doesn't have the right equipment to read. So anything that he's not real happy with, I just think it's on the back. You didn't turn it over, and furthermore, you didn't have the right magnification to read it, but it's all on there, and you already signed it. Right, accidentally on purpose. You're just a stealer. Misty, that's funny. Yes, it's the fine print on the back. Our husbands neglect to read fine print. Or at least mine did. But there's all kind of stuff back there. What's his is mine. He's supposed to be nice to me, even when he's not. When he wants to be mad, he can't be. It's on the back. It says so. It's back there. Trust me. I read it. I was gifted with the special magnifying glass that he wasn't. So. Anyway, ladies, I'm going to end this one, and I'm going to come back on in about 5 minutes. I'm going to drink a little coffee, take a bathroom break, and then I'll be back with my journal page. Right, they don't. A man will not ask for directions. They just want to drive in circles for hours. I'll stop. I'm like, can we just stop at a gas station just to find out? Nope. I'll figure it out. I don't know. And here's the thing, y'all. I used to think that the way men, which I'm going to hopefully not step on toes. I don't mean this in a bad way. But you know how when you send your husband to go find something, if it's not in plain view, it doesn't exist? Oh, it's not there. I used to think that that was just my husband, and it was like he didn't want to move stuff. I kept my 4-year-old nephew, and I sent him to go find something in the refrigerator that I knew was in there. It was not in plain view, and he came back and said, it's not there, Aunt Brenda. And I took him back in there, and I moved one thing, and there it was. He goes, oh, that's when I knew that it's not something that they learn. It is genetic. Men don't move stuff when they're looking for stuff because it's in their genes. If a 4-year-old does it, it's genetic. Oh, Misty. So I just, at that point, I knew it's not learned. It's in their genes. They can't help it. Exactly. They just don't move stuff. It's like they do a scan, and if they don't see it, it don't exist. And it's okay. I love it. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here, y'all. I'm glad I could help y'all laugh. I have more stories. Like, I'll tell this in the next video, but here you go. I'm going to leave y'all hanging. How are baldness and blondness alike? I know that they are. And I know I have proof. That's true, Misty. They'll tell us we need to organize better. But I will tell you about baldness and blondness on the next video while we're making Wanda Bale's page. So I'm going to get off of here. I really appreciate all y'all coming in today. And I'm not trying to, if you're blonde, I'm not trying to offend you by this. It's about my niece and my husband. It's just those two, bald and blondes. But I'm going to get off of here and end this, and then I'll be back in about 5 minutes with Wanda Bale's Flocker page. Thanks, y'all, for coming. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and like the channel. And I really do appreciate each and every one of y'all. Bye-bye.